Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Nothing but Reds. I told you I'll be pretty infrequent, but I did want to get in a video because Jurgen extended his contract. There's been links with us with Minamino, and apparently the deal is already in principle complete. We'll just get him in January. We have two back-to-back matches coming up. We got the Aston Villa match and I believe the League Cup, and then we play I can't even Monterrey. I'm not sure in the Club World Cup. Back-to-back days, so we'll get into that, but want to go over the details of the new Jurgen Klopp contract because, as everyone knows, there was rumors out there, false or not, that he wasn't looking to sign a new contract just yet. I mean, he didn't deny it, like he didn't say, I don't want to, but he definitely was kind of holding off on it. And if you look at his past, right, so he spent 7 seasons at Mainz, he spent 7 seasons at Dortmund, and he's coming up on his 7th. This is his 5th full season, I believe, right? Because 15-16 he took over. Oh, let's just count 15-16 as a full season. He took over, I think, in October maybe. So we'll count that as a full season. But he signed that 6-year deal the next season, so 16-17, right? So 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20. Oh, yeah, so 5. Man, I could be off. But anyways, this new 5-year contract, it's a big, big deal. And the reason I say it is because Klopp has been allotted the resources that he didn't have at the other clubs. Okay? And when you have a coach that has a philosophy that he's been instilling for the past 4 seasons, you can really get to see the long-lasting effects of this philosophy change, as well as instilling that philosophy when you have the funds to do so. So what I mean by that is building our youth program, right? You have a look at the new academy, right? The idea behind it is that these players, the young players, the youth players, are going to be able to see themselves progressing to the first team, right? That's the whole idea with putting them in the same area, which is good, right? I mean, you want to have that motivation, or at least like a visual, right? These players, they're going to training every day. They want to be able to see, hey, it's possible to get up there. So that's the first thing, right, from the ground up. And then you have a team that's becoming successful based on the philosophy of the coach, right? So take Jurgen Klopp coming in. His idea was gegenpressing, right? Or when you lose possession of the ball, 5 seconds after the fact, you're more likely to regain possession when you pressure, right? That's the whole idea, or at least that's how he played in Dortmund. Given the Premier League's a different league, right, you have to adjust, maybe not change your philosophy, but Klopp definitely had to adjust, his philosophy somewhat. So, for example, when Coutinho was here, we had that creative midfielder. He would sometimes play on the left, right? But once he left, that's when you started seeing the fullbacks come into play a little bit more. So that philosophy is something that he didn't have at Dortmund. Of course, he had Scherzer and Blaszczykowski. I don't even know if Blaszczykowski was a right back or a left back, but I know Scherzer was. And let me know the other. But he didn't. He had good right backs or good fullbacks, but he didn't have players that were going to go forward and put the ball into the box like Trent and Robertson do. So that's the second thing, right? Change in philosophy, but also instilling this philosophy into the entire club, all aspects of the club, from the players to the coaches, to the cooks, to the trainers, to the physios, to everyone, right? Klopp has completely changed this club, and I just go by feel and by what I read, and it's just we are a world superpower now, right? As far as, or at least European superpower as far as soccer goes, or football, whatever. And it's incredible because Klopp has done this, his philosophy, the amount of discipline it takes to instill that in a team, in a full organization, and have the backing of the owners, right? To FSG to completely trust him, completely back him, is unbelievable. And to do it when we do have the funds to do it. But you look at the signings he's made, right? I mean, I think Keita and Alisson, or of course Van Dijk, those are the biggest signings we've made. But all the original signings, the ones that really started that pressing style from Wijnaldum to Milner came before Klopp, to Mane, right? Salah, not necessarily the presser, but more so the finisher in the last third. It's just incredible what this man was able to do. And lastly, every Liverpool fan wanted him to stay, right? We all wanted him to stay, to extend his contract. My biggest concern was the fact that he had only lasted 7 years at all these other clubs. So, with that in mind, I was like, he's coming up next season or the year after is going to be his 7th year. Is he going to kind of fold like he did the last year at Dortmund where he wasn't playing the right players and the players stopped believing in his philosophy? But then I reassure myself because Liverpool are completely different level than Dortmund, right? Organization-wise, as an actual, club, not just on the field. We have the funds, we have the support, and Klopp has been given the resources to continue this building process, right? And it's just incredible. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the details of the contract. So this is from the official Liverpool website. The first quote that you see on the page is, "It just feels right. It's perfect." That's how he explained his decision to agree to a contract extension until 2024, right? Do y'all remember that there was, I don't know it was one of the agents, I don't know if it was Klopp's agent or someone else, there was like a report, a rumor, that he didn't want to extend his Liverpool contract because of the weather. Do you remember that? I know y'all remember. If y'all have seen that, that's got to be the funniest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. All right, so let's look at some of the details here. Yeah, so it's his fifth. This is his 5th season, so he wanted to extend his contract. And my thinking is, you have all these players that are in their prime, right? Firmino, Mane, Salah, Van Dijk, prime age too. And I'm wondering if he extended it because he knows he's built a youth system also. I mean, look at the young players he's bringing in between Harvey Elliott, Vandenberg, Larouci, Curtis Jones, Harry Wilson. All these young players are coming through the system, and I think he wants to be there to implement them into the Liverpool side before he completely calls it a day with Liverpool. And I think that's smart because say he left after this season and then after next season, right? After his contract. I believe his contract's up next. His original contract was up after the end of next season. Imagine if he just left with all these star players. I really believe, and I'm sure a lot of other people believe as well, that these players top players, they would probably leave. A lot of them have come because of Jurgen, right? And then as a result of Jurgen, this team has just been incredible. And that's one of the things that I could see happening. But it is what it is. So there's a whole article on the Liverpool FC website, asking questions about Klopp and like what his idea was, like what made him sign the new contract. And there's one quote that I want to read. It's a quote, but it's a question and then a paragraph. So the question, just a word on this current squad. It's a special group of players, isn't it? Right? That's the question. And I'm pretty sure this is Klopp saying this. Yeah, it's great to see. Yesterday we're at Alderhay, and I couldn't be more proud than in these moments when you see how the boys react in difficult moments. I'm 52, and it's difficult. Am I missing? No. And it's difficult for me to face these kinds of situations, but you have really young boys and how they go there. They're just lovely people. It's really nice. But then on the other side, there are proper warriors when we face the next opponent. That's how it is and how it should be. We don't think that we are only close to our 100%, but we try to come closer and closer and closer. That's what we said after the Champions League final, after the first one, after the second one. This is not the final chapter for this team. There's a lot more to write, and we want to be really influential in that. We don't know where it will lead us to, but in this moment, I don't know the teams before I came in, but it's one of the teams who are most committed to this club, and it's really, really nice to be a part of that. And I think, he had to have been an idiot to leave, right? Or just let his contract run out. But the biggest thing with Klopp is that being a manager and doing such a good job as he does, it's got to be exhausting, right? But he plays it cool. He's very, very calm, collected, very, very good manager. Very good manager. One of the best sports managers I've ever seen. And I'm very excited for that. And I believe he was making 7.5 mil on his previous contract, so I'd be interested to see what he's making on this one. But let's go shift to the Premier League fixture. So we play those two games, the League Cup and then the FIFA Club Cup, or whatever the heck it's called. And then we have Leicester on the Boxing Day, right, or day after Christmas. I don't even know what Boxing Day is. And the West Ham game is still to be determined. So this is the stretch. This is the stretch where we're going to have a lot of games, right? And a lot of fans that I'm talking to, people that I'm close with, the Liverpool fans, a lot of them are saying that if we beat Leicester, it's over. We'd have to completely fall apart. And as much as I want to say that out loud, I'm so afraid to jinx it, right? But you got to think, we're halfway through the season just about, and we're 14 points clear of City, 10 points clear of Leicester at the moment. Things couldn't be better. But I know y'all remember, it's easy to lose that lead, because I'm pretty sure we were 7 points up on City, and we played them on January 2nd or maybe January 1st of last season. So technically this year, but last season. And we ended up losing that game 2-1 at the Etihad, and then it's 4 points, right? 7 points is a big lead. We could have gone 10 points clear at that point. Now, granted, we're double that this season, but part of me still, I believe in this club. I completely believe in this club, and the fact that we're still unbeaten in the league is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I think it's possible. I think we're going to do it. Shit, I just said it. Oh well. Everyone thinks we're going to do it, and I think it's definitely possible. But if we beat Leicester and we go 13 points clear of Leicester, it is going to be extremely difficult for us to drop it from that point, unless we lose like 4 consecutive games in a row, right? That, or 3 even, then it's a close battle. But the other teams, when we lose those 3, they would have to win. And statistically speaking, it's unlikely, but I think we've done an excellent job of creating this cushion, because this is going to be the most difficult part of the season. If we're going to have a loss in the Premier League, it's going to be during this stretch, right, over the next month. It has to be. It has to be. Because, I don't know, I mean, you just look at some of the tight games we've played and we've managed to pull them out, but all these games in succession, this is when it's going to happen, if it happens, all right? So, like I said, Leicester, all right? We play Wolves on the 29th, and then on the day after New Year's, we play Sheffield, all right? But that's at Anfield. So, going into the new year, that's good. We have Sheffield, but then we have Spurs, but we have a whole, looks like 9 days off before that, but we probably have Champions League football, or maybe it's an international break. I'm not sure. I'll have to check up on that. But, or maybe League Cup games, things like that. But good things are happening at this club. Incredible things. Just the news keeps getting better and better and better. Klopp signs a new deal. We're signing Minamino, or whatever his name is. And it's just like all the rumors are, we're going to sign like huge names. But when you have a manager like Klopp, when you have an organization that's so organized, a philosophy that's so direct and so understanded, you don't need these big signings, these big personalities, these big egos that are going to not only break the wage bill, but they're going to also ruin the chemistry, because they're going to bring in this mind, right? For just take Neymar, for example, right? Bear with me, I'm going off on tangents, but I'm going to try to wrap it up here. Neymar, imagine if Neymar came to Liverpool. I know I don't want him to come to Liverpool whatsoever. I hate Neymar. I don't hate him. I strongly dislike Neymar. All right? If he came, first off, he'd be playing on the left wing, right? Or he'd be a false nine or a center attacking mid, whatever. I've seen him play a bunch of different positions, striker. Not only would he would have to start. Like he wouldn't come to the club if he was going to be a bench player. He would have to start. So the only way I could see that happening, first off, is if we let Salah go. I'm not letting Mane go. I could let Salah go, honestly, because I just could. I could. That's just me, though. Everyone's going to hate me for that, but I would rather Salah go than Mane. That's me. So that's the first thing. But not only that, think about the ego that Neymar has, right? Neymar, his head is like this. He is so full of himself and so entitled. And that is the exact opposite of what this organization is, Liverpool, and what Klopp has instilled. Liverpool is the definition of a professional team of any sport. It is purely everyone knows their role, everyone contributes. There are standout players, of course. We have some superstars, but we're not winning because of an excellent performance from one player consistently. Okay? And Neymar would just destroy that. It would ruin the dressing room. It absolutely would. And I think that bringing in players like Minamino, players that are good, that have the technical ability, the soccer IQ to adapt to a system and then slowly ease their way into the system and prove that they're a vital role in that system is what we need. Look at the signing of Shaqiri. Look at the signing of Keita, regardless of how much money it was. Look at Fabinho, right? These players didn't just come and then they're superstars all of a sudden. Fabinho didn't even play the whole half season he was here. I think he was slowly implemented into the squad like 4 or 5 months into the season. Excuse me. Keita, whole season through struggling with injury. You look at Ox. Ox, great role player, right? Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum is a staple in that side, right? You rarely see Wijnaldum stop. But you look at Minamino. He's a player that is very, I think, not in style, but as far as the tactics that we're going to use him with or for, like a Keita, like an Origi at first, right? A player that comes in and makes a quick difference. Maybe, Shaqiri. And then over time, if he can prove himself to know the system and to play at a level where he's able to work well with the team, right? And just be cohesive with the rest of the team, he's going to grow into a first-team player. And that's what every player on this team has done. And I talked about this on my last video. Every single player, when they come in, they're just plugged into the system and they know what to do. Very rarely do you see a player have a bad game, right? And it happens, but it's rare. It's awesome. It's awesome. So, guys, Jurgen Klopp's new contract, Minamino coming in I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Him coming in January, and we're on the brink of something incredible, right? Champions League, that's fantastic. But there's so much more, like Klopp said in that interview. There's so much more that this team can accomplish, and the book's not finished. There's still many more chapters to come, and I'm excited. I'm excited. So, hopefully later this week, maybe sometime next week, I'll get in. We'll do some reviews of the League Cup game and the FIFA Club Cup, whatever it's called, and then maybe the Leicester game after the fact, some stats reviews and things like that. But I did want to get on here because the contract is a huge deal. And then, of course, our first signing of the year. I don't think Klopp's ever signed someone in January aside from Van Dijk. I really don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I really don't think so. So it's good. It's rare. It means he really believes that we need Minamino for the rest of the season. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining me. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, like and subscribe, comment. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. All right, take care.